Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Elevated Health. Today, on episode 5, we are going to be covering just basically how to make your life easier in the grocery store, in the kitchen. So, specifically, 3 key points we're going to cover is what should be on your grocery list when you're shopping, what should you be looking for, things like that. Different types of food qualities. So, you got your non GMO, organic, grass fed, grass finished, like all these different things that, are on labels. What do they mean? What is that you really talking about? Like, what do we look for when we're grocery shopping? And then the third point we're going to be diving into is just like kitchen hacks, like things that Jake and I have over time experienced and used to just make nutrition and eating a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, a little bit healthier. So yeah, Jake, what's going on, bro?
What's up, dude? How we doing over there?
We're doing good, man. We got some element tea inside the water today.
There you go. What
We
flavor?
are raspberry, the best,
All right.
the goat.
Had
We're
some of that on the
hydrating up.
trail.
Yeah, man. We drank like 40 of those on that trail. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, we're doing a lot to get ready for this dunking goal tomorrow morning, man. So for anybody wondering, back in I don't know December, I reached out to Jake and I was like, "Hey, bro, I'm trying to dunk. Need you to coach me up." So we've been going at it. I said by March 1st. So we've been going at it for 3 months now. I would graze the rim with my fingertips before, and tomorrow morning is when it all goes down. So check the social media to see if I ended up throwing down.
So
So for sure, it's gonna be fun, man. But been doing a lot, staying hydrated, hitting the sauna though, cutting down on calories. Gonna make sure to get carbs in tomorrow morning. But we're just going all out. I did deep tissue scraping yesterday, cupping, was rolling out, like just going all out, bro. I want to feel at my best tomorrow.
yes, sir. It's game day.
Game day. But all right, let's get into this for the people. So first things first, when you're going to the store, I guess like what stores are you going to? And then yeah, let's just start there. Like what stores are you going to?
The two that I mainly go to are Trader Joe's and Costco. Just because
Okay.
Trader Joe's is, it's nearby, it's easy, has a lot of, healthy options. Costco, you can buy things in bulk, so it's a lot easier to get, I guess better bang for your buck. Those are the two that I stick to. If I need something in a pinch, maybe like Target or Meijer or something like that. But TJ's and Costco are my go to.
Cool. For me, I mainly shop at it's a Safeway out here. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but it's like your average grocery store. It's your average thing. Got a little bit more of a variety than say a Walmart or something like that. But I think there's like the biggest thing of why I even asked you that question is I just want to get it across to people like the quality. We're gonna talk about food quality in this, but like different food qualities are available to you at different stores. Like if you go to Walmart, you more than likely have the lowest quality stuff. Like there's a reason Walmart is the cheapest. Now, if your budget is Walmart, sick. Go to Walmart and still maximize on the things we're about to talk about. But like when you go to a Walmart, or I don't know, like I guess Kroger's got more of a variety than even Walmart, but a Kroger type store. Like when you go to these stores, oh my god, let's
Connie's
just leave
starting a
it.
fire over there.
Let's just leave it in the episode. Fire alarm going off mid
Shoot,
podcast.
that's super loud in
I'll
my
mute.
ears.
We're back just like that. But what I was saying was when you're going to these stores, like that's going to be the available selection for you. Like there's a reason Walmart is the cheapest because it's got the lowest quality of stuff, more than likely. But we'll talk about food quality here in a second. So I just wanted to get it across. But when you're going into Costco, bro, like what are you going in? What's your grocery list looking like out of the gate?
Yeah, so I kind of have it broken down into the macros, like the proteins, the carbs, and the fats. So the proteins, I'm going in buying ground beef, chicken, chicken thighs, chicken breasts, things like that. Maybe like some breakfast sausage or bacon or something like that. Eggs, dairy, something like milk or Greek yogurt. stack up on some Greek yogurt. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I know. Um, carbs, potatoes, rice, oats, a lot of fruit. I eat a lot of fruit. Try to buy a lot of fruit. And then fats. Healthy oils, coconut oil, avocado, olive oil, things like that. Stay away from the seed oils. Anytime I'm cooking, I'm using coconut oil or avocado oil, butter. Some of those healthy quality fats, not the disgusting poison, seed oils.
Yeah, canola, vegetable, all these oils that you guys are using, like that's the first thing we can just touch on to swap out of your grocery list. Like get a good, extra virgin olive oil, get some avocado oil, coconut oil, good butter, whatever it is. Like those are all good oils to cook in. Now, when should you use them? Google smoke point of oils and go from there. And it'll tell you how to cook based on high heat, low heat, which oil you should be using. That's another level of just cooking in general. But one thing that I wanted to touch on is what I do is I plan my meals. So it helps being in a relationship with a female to plan meals. I'll be honest, I didn't do this before. I kind of did with Joe though. Joe and I lived together, and we would plan like, okay, like Thursday we're probably looking at steaks. Like Friday we're looking at salmon. We'd have those meals that we had in rotation. We didn't really waver from them, so we have a pretty consistent grocery list. And to kind of keep it from getting bland, you just kind of mix up how you're going to eat it. Instead of doing ground beef in a bowl, now you add a bunch of stuff on top of it, or maybe you put it inside a tortilla or something like that. Maybe you patty it up and do a burger. Like it's kind of how you can get the same meats and then vary it up to make sure it doesn't get, just like you're tired of eating the same thing over and over. But I think the biggest thing I want to get across is like you should be planning your meals. It's especially if you're starting off in the health, world. Like if you're new to this, like plan your meals because when you go to the gym with no plan, you walk in there. Do you think you're getting the most effective workout? Absolutely not. Like you are going to waste a lot of time. You're going to miss out on a lot of gains. So same thing with the grocery store and when you're cooking. Like plan your meals out. Like, okay, Monday I'm going to do this, Tuesday I'm going to do this, Wednesday I'm going to do this. Not only is that going to eliminate like self discipline, it's going to help your budget as well. Like your grocery list is going to be solid. You're not going to walk in there hungry and just buy everything off the shelf or be tempted. You're going to know for breakfast I'm eating this, for dinner I'm eating this, lunch I don't know, I don't eat lunch, but we can talk about that here in a second as well. But I want to get that across because it's helped a ton with the budget, with the self discipline, and just with like not wasting food too. Like making sure all of our food that we're buying is getting used up. I know people who are unhealthy are way more likely to waste food than people are healthy. I've experienced that a lot. And for everyone listening, like you got to understand, I grew up eating Pop Tarts for breakfast, ramen noodles for lunch, and takeout for dinner. So, like, I know what it's like to eat low quality foods and see a bunch of waste.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you said, healthy people usually don't waste food. I mean, once you get the hang of it, like if you plan your meals, you just know your portions that you buy and that you're going to eat throughout the week. You don't buy this unnecessary food that you're not going to eat that's going to spoil and get bad and you throw out.
Yeah, absolutely. You just start to really learn. It's the same thing with like tracking the calories we've talked about in past episodes. Like you can do this, you can make a plan for, a month, 2 months, and then you'll be solid. Jake probably doesn't when he goes to the store, he probably doesn't think about what he's gonna eat on specific days. Just at this point, he knows how much meat to get and how long it's gonna last him, because he's done it so long now. Um, and if I wasn't living with a woman, I would do the same thing. Ton of protein. Cool. All right,
Yeah.
next. So one thing you had mentioned though is kind of how you break up your grocery list. And what's cool is stores are broken up kind of in the same way. You said you break it up based on your macros, so your proteins, carbs, fats. Talk to me about like I know you kind of went into it, but let's go deeper into it. Like, what are those specifically? What's in those categories for you? I know you kind of mentioned it, and like, and I guess why do you like go to that if that makes
Yeah.
sense?
So, I mean, the macros, I mean, those are the three that make up your calories. For protein, if you want to be healthy, you got to have a protein, focused diet. So especially if you're working out, lifting, almost every day, you got to make sure your muscles are healing up, getting bigger, trying to put on size, or if you're trying to lose weight, you need to start eating your protein to be healthy. So, I mean, I just make sure I eat, or I grab, ground beef, chicken. I have plenty of that in the fridge or the freezer. Um, like I don't plan on my meals like you said you do. I mean, not all of them, but um, like I'll buy ground beef so I can either, fry up some ground beef, make it with eggs, or, I can plan tacos or something like that. Chicken, I can put it in a crock pot, make some chicken tacos, maybe some hot chicken, or just, cook up some chicken thighs. So I just kind of buy it in bulk of, you know, beef, chicken, whatever is in the protein. For the carbs, that's my pre workout. That is energy. It is fuel for your body. So I try to focus on fruit. I eat a lot of fruit before my workouts. Quick, easy, fast digesting. Just like the things like the oats, potatoes, rice. Those things. Those are healthy carbs. They're not the sugars that are in, like you said, Pop Tarts, donuts, these chips and stuff like that. So it's the real food for the carbs, and then the fats. I mean, fat gets this bad rep of, stay away from fats, everything fat free. You need a fat free diet. Fats are so unhealthy. Fats have a lot more calories. So if you're trying to lose weight, it's easier to stay away from fats. So you're not eating as many calories. So I do eat fats, especially if you're trying to put on size. You need those calories, right? So, I mean, that's why I stick with those oils. I mean, even things like peanut butter or some kind of nuts, grabbing those. So that's kind of why I stick with those three, is because that's what makes up your calories. And if you're tracking your calories, like I used to, I don't anymore because I kind of got the gist of it. Like when you're experienced, how much you're putting in your body. So those kind of make up your calories, and it's a lot easier to track if you're trying to gain weight, lose weight, or kind of stick around where you're at.
Yeah, I think it's just like anything else. Like health is the same thing as anything else. With it's going to take the most time, effort, energy up front. But as you put in that time, effort, energy, like it gets easier and easier because you become knowledgeable. You know how to get more out of less. If that kind of makes sense to anyone listening. But even when you're talking about your grocery list, like breaking it down, protein, carbs, fats, like you're even thinking about the meal times when you're walking through the grocery store. Like, okay, when I'm going to hit the gym, I need a bunch of fruits. Like, I got to stock up on those simple sugars. So, like, everyone listening to this, like, you can even hear it when Jake is just talking about his grocery list. He's got the times of when things are going to get consumed in his mind. And you may think, like, that seems kind of obsessive, whatever, but it's like when you are training hard and eating to feel good during that training and feel good all the time, like this is how you have to start thinking. Like you can't just think like, oh, what am I hungry for right now? Oh, a burrito sounds good. Great. Like, no, that's not how this works. Like, can you make a healthy burrito? Absolutely. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to start thinking about fueling yourself properly if you're wanting to build a body. Now, you can make a ton of healthy meals within that taste excellent. I think healthy meals taste better than unhealthy meals. That's such a bad like myth that needs to be broken, that healthy stuff doesn't taste good. Nobody's out here eating salads. Like, we're eating steak, salmon, scallops, shrimp. Like what is unhealthy about that? What tastes bad about that? Like, so I want to get that across. And fats have a huge benefit, man. Like people need more fats in their diet. Even if you're
Yeah.
trying to lose weight, you need more fats in your diet. And that is going to go against a lot of what people say with the whole calorie conversation. But what I'm saying is so much deeper than the calorie conversation with getting fats in your diet. We'll save that for another episode because that's a whole rabbit hole about hormones, metabolic health, gut health, everything else. But that'll be deeper. So I love the mindset you have going into the store, bro. It's good. But let's kind of help people craft their own grocery list now. Because I do the same thing you do. I walk in with those things in mind. Let's help them craft. So protein is what they need to be looking at first. We've both said that, and protein is going to get consumed every single day you need to be setting a protein target and striving for that protein target. So start there. If you're listening to this and you're like, all right, I'm in, I'm going to craft my own grocery list, take out a pen and paper right now. Take out the notes app on your phone, whatever it is. If you're driving, I don't know what you should do, but take some mental notes whenever you get where you're going, write it down. So protein, let's start. Sounds like you have like 3 or 4 meats that you're rotating through. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's just to keep it from just a plain bland diet. I don't like eating the same food over and over and over again. So I kind of switch it up, every other day or so. I'll eat beef one day, chicken the other day, egg focused on the other day. So, um, I mean, a lot of people, I know you can just eat the same thing every single meal and not get sick of it. But for me, the taste gets sickening. And I feel myself forcing myself to eat when I eat the same thing over and over and over again. So I just kind of spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, one thing that I use to vary things is sauce a lot of times. Sauce and like seasonings, but I vary up a lot. And the reason I vary and the reason everyone writing down their proteins on their grocery list right now should vary is something called bioavailability. Um, Without going down that rabbit hole and getting into that conversation, just like what is bioavailability, Jake? Oh, really?
I no, I mean,
Uh,
I
you
hear
know.
what. Yeah, I mean, it's the quality. Like I can't give you like the definition, but just quality. The ability to like absorb I guess the minerals, the vitamins, stuff like that. So, um, like the actual definition, no, I can't get it, but
Yeah,
it has to deal with the quality of the food.
for sure. So like basically all it is like different meats are have different levels of bioavailability. Like all it means is like there's different makeups of different meats. So like if you eat a cow versus a chicken, those meats are made up of different stuff. So your body's going to absorb different stuff from those meats. So it's like you need to be rotating because you need to expose yourself to these protein profiles that these meats are comprised of. Same thing with like fish. Like everyone needs to be eating some fish in their diet, iodine, omega 3s, good fats, all this stuff. So it's like you need to expose yourself to a plethora of proteins for the nutrients and stuff that it's going to give your body. So that's the main reason that I vary. Like you're saying, I could eat the same thing every meal, but main reason I vary is for that exact reason of just like I want to get exposed to what beef has to offer me and what salmon has to offer me, what chicken has to offer me, what lamb has to offer me. Like it's all good for my body. My body needs it. So
Yep,
that's the main reason I switch up.
for sure. And I don't know a lot of people they eat a lot of chicken. Because chicken and rice is like that. Go to bro meal. But I think in my opinion, the two best like proteins you can eat are beef and eggs, just because of the amount of vitamins and minerals in both of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Beef, eggs, and then I mean I would throw in salmon for sure.
Salmon, yeah. So I'm not a big fish eater, but yeah, for sure, salmon's good.
So if you write down your grocery list, like I said, proteins, what meats do you like? Vary them up. Make sure you're getting some sort of fish in there. Definitely get some eggs in there. And then go to some beef, whether it's steak, whether it's ground beef. And we're going to get into food quality after this, after we walk through our grocery list. So we'll get to that. But got your proteins. Now on to carbs. Write down carbs, next category, and let's talk about what fills that up. I'll just go through what carbs that I eat and rotate through and kind of my timing with them. And then I know you've already pretty much talked about yours, but you eat a lot of fruit. For me, I don't eat as much fruit. Um, I do potatoes, rice, and pasta mainly. Those are a lot of kind of lower, slower burning carbs, not as fast, simple carbs. And then what I do around my training is frozen berries and maple syrup. That's what I do mainly. And this is all, pure organic maple syrup. Like the ingredients just says maple syrup. Like I said, we'll get to food quality in a second, but I want to get that across. I'm not eating, the log cabin high fructose corn syrup, eating stuff that's actually going to fuel my workout. So that's what we do. Like we look at carbs and we lay it out. Okay, we need potatoes. All right, what meals are potatoes going to comprise of this week? Well, every breakfast I'm cutting up and frying up potatoes. Um, dinner, okay, I'm gonna cut up some fries. I use the potatoes to make fries with my burgers that I eat. So it's like sick, I'm gonna need some fries. Well, how often am I eating burgers? Okay, that will tell me how many potatoes I need, for the week. So it's like, okay, buy that amount of potatoes. What am I eating my rice with? Like, cool. Okay, rice pairs really well with chicken, with salmon. That's really about it. So I pair those with those two in our meals. Boom. Okay, it tells how much rice we need. Get one of those massive bags and let it last for like 2 months until you run out. Uh, and the same thing with pasta. Like, okay, what goes with pasta? Okay, pasta, cool. How much fruit am I going to eat? Well, I eat fruit every single day around my training, so I do eat some bananas and stuff too on the side, but not as much fruit as it sounds like for you. So it's like, okay, if I'm eating fruit every day, I go through about one of those big bags of frozen berries every single week. So every time I go to the store, I grab one of those bags. Um, so yeah, I mean that's really my carbs, and then maple syrup and honey. Like I just drink that stuff, man.
Yeah. I'm like pretty much the same as you. Especially for dinner, I'll be eating more of like the potatoes and rice, pasta too. I'll make some pasta every now and then. Um, Breakfast is typically something like sourdough or potatoes. I'll fix that with eggs or something like that. Um, Lunch, same as you. Fruit, like some frozen berries. I'll put some frozen blueberries in the Greek yogurt. Put some syrup, honey in there. Maybe some dark chocolate chips and eat that. That's like a pre-workout snack. I'll eat that with a couple
Every day.
bananas, maybe like a glass of OJ or some apple cider, and just another shot of honey real quick. And it's like 100, 150 grams of carbs depending on how much you're eating. And that's my pre-workout snack right there. But yeah, I'm the same way as the quicker stuff like the fruits. That's more in the middle of the day, pre-workout. Maybe when I'm trying to get some work done, I'm not making a full-blown meal for lunch.
Yeah, easy snacks to go grab, a pack of blueberries and smack on it.
Exactly.
I think something you just said there with the fruit juices, OJ and apple juice, whatever. We'll get to food quality, but like it's the same thing as eating the fruit if you have a high quality juice, essentially. So again, we'll get to the quality here in a second. But like I just want to get that across. Like Jake is not drinking some bullshit Tropicana OJ. Like there's good quality OJ out there, believe it or not. There's good quality apple juice out there that tastes far better than the garbage. Once
Yeah.
you, I guess, get your palate back to where it needs to be, probably, but
Yeah.
tastes
So
far better than the garbage. Go ahead.
I buy the apple cider locally. There's a an apple I don't know what's it called, apple farm, apple something
Orchard.
orchard. Yeah, there we go. And I mean I buy the apples from there, apple cider stuff like that. It's just it's local. I know it's not processed and poisoned, so that's where I buy my apple cider. And orange juice, it's organic orange juice where it's only oranges. There's not any added sugars or anything like that.
Um, so let's go on to fats. So I want to preface this with there's a lot of fat in meats already. Like I know that we categorize that under protein because obviously that's what we're trying to get from meat. But with anyone kind of wondering, like fats, like there's fats in meats as well. So you're gonna get a lot of fats from your meats. Fattier meats are your porks, and then you get all the way to the scale of like chicken being lower fat and then turkey being even lower. Like turkey, I think, is probably the leanest meat there is, if I had to say off the top of my head.
Probably.
So, like, there are fats in meats, but when we're saying fats specifically, we're going to talk about outside of meat. What other fats are we buying at the store? Um, for me, definitely butter. I do a lot with butter. Um, Trying to think what else, honestly, bro. Like, I get olive oil, butter,
Yeah.
olive oil. I
Um,
don't know. I don't buy any nuts or anything like
yeah,
that.
nuts like I mean maybe like some cashews, peanuts, almonds, pistachios. Like sometimes I'll buy those just to snack on during the day. Peanut butter, or any kind of mixed nut butter. But
Yeah.
I don't. like I don't focus on, fatty foods because I eat them throughout the day just with my meals, like you said, and meat. Pretty much every animal product is going to have fat in it along with the protein.
Yeah.
Every time I cook, I use oils. So I'm cooking eggs, I'm using coconut oil. So I'm getting fats in every meal without like intentionally trying to.
Yeah. I think another thing that I would add we do buy is avocados, which is, some quality fat that I think everyone should be eating every so often, getting some avocados in their diet. So that's a fat that we do buy. But yeah, other than that, I mean, not a laundry list of fats. Not that fats are bad. Like Jake is saying, though, we just get it mainly from our meats and other sources. So we don't have to just categorize and go straight for fats, kind of like you do carbs, because meat doesn't contain carbs. So we got to go to a carb source for carbs. Yeah. So anything else kind of in your grocery list that you're thinking of that maybe we didn't cover? I think bread is probably one. Tawny makes a sourdough, so I don't have to go buy any bread. That's pretty sick. Um, which sourdough is the best for digestion. We're not going to get into why or the digestive health, all that. That's another episode. But just bread, I think. Is there anything else, which is a carb that I didn't mention in there? Is there anything else that maybe is sticking out to you?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm a big sourdough eater. I buy sourdough. I don't buy the bleached white bread or, the whole grain stuff. I just, sourdough. So, I mean, not anything else I have to add.
Yeah, so get some sourdough in there for anybody listening. But I mean, as you can hear us talking about this grocery list, like it's all super simple, like there's nothing in a box, there's nothing factory made. Like it's all super simple stuff that, we can go to a butcher, we could go to a local produce stand, like we could go to places that doesn't take a factory to produce our food at all. No factory has to be in the process at all. And then that's what your grocery list should be comprised of is stuff that, is coming out of the ground, is being grown, is being provided by God, as Jake likes to say oftentimes. So like, just something to really think about. But I guess as
The
we're talking about this is perfect. You got something to add to that?
I was just gonna say the lesser the ingredients, the better it is. I mean, if you buy beef, the ingredient is beef. It's meat. Eggs are eggs. Fruits, fruit. Vegetables, vegetables. Like a banana's banana. It's not a like you said. It's not a box that you buy that has a list of 50 ingredients. Most of them you can't even pronounce and have no idea what they are.
For sure. So let's just go straight into it. I mean, this is perfect segue into food quality. So one big thing you're already saying is like the less ingredients, the better, and the more pronounceable. I don't know if that's a word. Pronunciable ingredients, they're better. Like you said, if you look at the back and it's supposed to be orange juice, and it doesn't just say oranges, like what is going on there? Why are there a bunch of stuff that we can't even pronounce in my orange juice? And I mean, the reason why is margins. Companies like to make money. They don't care about your health. All they care about is padding their P&L. So they will just put whatever to just get it to the shelf and make sure it lasts on the shelf and lasts in your fridge and tastes good to you so you keep coming back and buying it. They don't care how it affects you when it goes into your body. So I mean, that is the answer to why all these companies have all this stuff. They're going to tell you it's for all these different reasons, like all the marketing stuff, like, oh, this is going to preserve it on the shelf. Like, okay, maybe, but what's it going to do to my body once it gets in my body? Like
Yeah,
they're going to tell you all this different mumbo jumbo to get you to believe that it needs these extra ingredients. And we're here to tell you that it doesn't. Like, it absolutely does not need that extra stuff. So,
yeah. It's. I'm glad you mentioned the preservatives because things like fast food, McDonald's. So my sister used to work for this health coach who has like a McDonald's cheeseburger and fries sitting on her desk, and it's been sitting there for like 15 plus years. It doesn't get bad because it has preservatives in it. It never expires. Like it does not grow mold. It's just sitting there. It's been sitting there for years. I mean, think about what that does to your body when you put it in your body. Your body can't break that down and process it. So it's just you're putting literal crap in your body, and you're
Yeah.
not feeding or fueling your body. So yeah, stay away from those fast food meals, the preservative stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. The artificially flavored. And I think like even on the topic of juices, like when you look at your juice, like there is so much like jargon on the front of a juice label, bro. It's crazy. Like 100% juice concentrate, 100% natural juice. Like and there's some that doesn't even say it's like the fruit at all. It's like juice flavor or something like lemon drink or something like it's
Yeah.
basically like the FDA has created these rules that companies have to abide by, and they just find ways around it that still makes you feel like you're getting something healthy and you're not. So it's like when you're reading these things, instead of like letting them deceive you with the label, flip the thing over, go straight to ingredients, and look at that. If it doesn't just say oranges, get out of there, run, drop the thing and run. Like as simple as that. So stop trying to like discern based on the label, even if it says like non-GMO or like organic or whatever. Like that does not even mean it's healthy. Like look at the back and understand that. Um,
Yeah,
let's
the
just go
other
into. Go ahead.
I was gonna say other additives like MSG, monosodium glutamate, high fructose corn syrup. Like these are additives put in the food to make you addicted. You put it in your mouth and it's like an instant dopamine hit. Like it tastes good. You want to keep eating it. That they put that in there so you keep buying it and you keep paying them money. Um, I remember when I was at your place, had to duds, we were eating peanut butter, and I think we bought like some organic peanut butter, and it didn't have any added sugar. And he's eating, it, he's like, "What the hell is this?" Because he was so used to eating like that, the peanut butter with the extra sugar and stuff. So, yeah, to try to stay away from those additives, the less amount of ingredients, the better.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect example of like transitioning, like something as like a GIF that's terrible for you, whereas then you have like the natural peanut butter that's literally just peanuts and salt. Like it's not going to taste as good in the beginning. In the beginning, when you transition and give yourself some time to kind of wean off that stuff, it's almost like a drug. Honestly, like these artificial stuff that they're using to hook us, it's like drugs. Like it's something where you're like, oh, that tastes terrible, and when you take time away from it and come back, it's like, wow, that's way too sweet. Like, when you go to something that's just peanuts and salt and you come back to a GIF, it's like, oh, I can't even eat that. That's so sweet. Like, it tastes bad. And we've all experienced something like that, but it's because these companies have done this, to just get you, like Jake's saying, addicted to stuff and keep coming back. And even in the moment, keep eating. Like the saliva is being produced, the dopamine is being responded to, and also what it's doing is it's not satiating you, it's not filling you up. So when you're eating these things, your body's like getting nothing from it, and it tastes really good. So you can just that's why when you eat a box of cereal, we've all eaten the whole box in one sitting before. Like we've been there. Like come on, it's because you're not getting anything from it, and it's made to keep you eating. Like that's what they're trying to do. So you go back and you buy more, and you love the product. So it's just something to really consider, just how kind of messed up all these companies are with all this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the biggest advice I tell people who are trying to lose weight is stop buying the processed food, which you'll just get addicted to and keep on eating. Like it's easy to eat a whole bag of chips when it's tasting good and it's not filling you up, and you just keep on eating, and you're doing something else like playing video games or working on something, and you're eating that bag of chips, and you reach back in the bag and you realize you just ate the whole entire bag without even realizing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think and I think this is a great example of why foods can be healthy too that are naturally, normally deemed unhealthy. Like ice cream, for example. You can have a healthy ice cream. Like, is it healthy in terms of the amount of calories it's producing? Maybe not. Maybe it's over your calorie goal, but that's different for everybody, how many calories they're trying to eat. But if you have natural ingredients inside of an ice cream, organic ingredients in there that your body can actually use and get the sugars from to maybe go fuel a workout or something, like you can eat ice cream and your body will break it down and use it. The only thing that then becomes a top of mind thought is like, okay, how many calories am I eating now? Because I'm gonna get fat based on the calories. But like that's why guys like us were able to eat. Like I got sourdough cookies, a bag of sourdough cookies, and I'm losing weight this week, and I'm eating cookies. I'm on 75 hard, but the cookies don't break my diet because it's dark chocolate chips, sourdough, and it's sweetened with pure organic 100% maple syrup. So it's like just something to consider there. Those cookies aren't wrecking me. They aren't breaking my diet. I'm eating them in moderation for my calorie goals that I have set. Like, so it's like that's how foods can be healthy that are typically unhealthy. That's how they can fit diets. That's how they can fuel you and not make you feel like shit. Like you shouldn't eat a meal and then the next morning wake up feeling like garbage, no matter what it is.
Yep. I think, and that, I think if you were just listening to what Matt said, notice he said um, sourdough cookies, and you made them, right? Or Tawny made them?
Yeah, Tony made him.
Yeah. So, I mean, um, the, the meals you eat are going to be healthy if they're home cooked because you get to control the ingredients you put in them. You're not buying them off the shelf with these ingredients that you can't pronounce. You control what's put in them. So Matt just said, these healthy ingredients, dark chocolate, syrup instead of all these added sugars. So if you make your meal, you can make it healthy.
Yeah. There's so much versatility in that. That's kind of in the kitchen hacks. But before we get there, let's talk about this whole grass fed conversation. Let's talk about organic as well. Like, let's just start there. Like, what does it mean when a label says organic?
Yeah. So I mean, organic, it just means um, it's not touched with like the pesticide spray, like all these poison sprays that these companies spray on the crops or whatever to keep away the bugs and all this stuff. So organic just means it's not poisoned. That's what organic means. Um, I mean, and grass fed stuff like that. The reason why grass fed is so good is because the cows, like let's just take grass fed beef for example. A grass fed beef is usually it's pasture raised or just fed grass. It's not fed the GMO corn, the GMO soybeans that were sprayed with this poisons. And, so if the cow is eating that, then you're eating that as well. So that's why organic grass fed is, pretty much all I buy. So I stay away from those, poisonous sprays.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what is I'll just tell them. GMO stands for genetically
Hmm.
modified. So basically, like they're just genetically modifying this like corn or whatever to make it grow bigger, regardless of what it does to the quality of the corn of what it's providing you or providing the cow that's about to be providing for you. And it's something so big to think about. Like again, they're trying to make money. So if you even look at like the images of like chickens over the last 100 years, the chickens used to be like tiny, and now
Yeah.
they're like massive because they've been pumped, genetically modified for so many years. And obviously, we get better at genetically modifying as technology advances, as science advances. They can get better at manipulating the food to make it bigger by pumping the chickens with stuff that they shouldn't be pumped with. It's destroying the quality of the chicken, and then you're eating low quality stuff. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's a whole process of crops that we eat, crops that the animals eat, like, and then we eat the animals. It's like there's a lot of stuff that can be manipulated within that entire chain until it gets to you on your plate from the whole process. But organic, GMO. I think another thing that I want to cover too is I've been seeing a lot of this like the vegan labels or like GMO labels or organic labels like on stuff that it doesn't even make sense to be on. And it's like clearly just a marketing
Oh
tactic.
yeah.
I think like a juice would probably be a good example. Like where like an orange juice will say like vegan or like no, it won't say keto, but like you'll see like keto on stuff and it's like that never contained carbs in the first place.
Yeah.
Like why does that need to say keto on there? Like it's just so funny to see like stuff that has no it was never vegan ever. And they'll put vegan friendly on there. Like it's like that never should have ever even been in the conversation. So why is it even on the label? Like it's
Yep.
wild to see this stuff, man.
It's one of those sales tactics. It's just these fad diets get, such a big hype around them. It's like if I put vegan on this, all these vegans are going to buy my product.
Yeah. And that's something to think about too. Like just because it uses a word does not mean it's healthy. Like natural does not mean it's healthy. Organic doesn't even mean it's healthy. Grass fed doesn't even mean it's healthy either. Like that's another thing too. Like it's a lot. And somebody listening to this is like, man, you just totally wrecked everything in my mind. I'm sorry, but I mean, I guess grass finished. Grass finished is the best thing you can get as far as quality meat wise. I mean, what that means is like grass fed can mean the cow ate grass its entire life, basically. And then at the very end, they pumped it with this non GMO stuff in the name of like marbling, or they'll tell you all this stuff like, oh, we wanted to get good marbling in there, good fat in there, whatever. Now, that's better than just random meat that's not grass fed at all. But the best thing you can do is get grass finished as well. Grass fed and grass finished to where the cow ate grass his entire life. Natural stuff and organic, because that tells us that, hey, they didn't go modify the grass. You know, they didn't go modify what the cow was eating too. So
Yeah.
kind of like stacking some of that stuff. But I guess just again, I'm just trying to say like don't be manipulated by the labels of what these things are saying. The worst case, flip it over and look at the ingredients. And if the ingredients is at least just beef, good, like good. Does that mean it's 100% the best you could be buying? No, but it's better than the alternative. So start there with the ingredients,
Yeah.
ingredients, ingredients.
And if it doesn't say grass fed, like look for pasture raised, because that just means they're out in the pasture grazing on the grass. They're not being fed, this, like what we talked about, this corn and soy and all that other stuff. But I want to just say I it was like this is a few months ago. I was I don't remember what I was cooking, but I needed meat, um, for dinner, and I didn't have any meat in my fridge. I didn't, have time to run to the store, so I went to Meyer, which is just right down the street, and they didn't have any organic meat. They didn't have any grass fed, pasture raised meat. So I bought a just like a little tube of ground beef, just to cook real quick for dinner, and like the quality, I could definitely tell the difference. Like it felt like I was eating roadkill. Like they just scraped something off the road, and I was just eating roadkill. Like because it was such a low quality meat that I was used to, or that I was not used to because of I've been trying to eat the grass fed, the pasture raised, all these farm cows, and this beef, which I don't even know if it was beef. Like it just tasted awful because of the low quality.
Yeah, it's crazy too. Like once you change your palate out, it's crazy what what you experience going back to some of this stuff. You're like, oh, makes fast food taste horrible. Like it just makes a lot of things taste horrible. So yeah. As far as food quality, I think the last thing I want to touch on before we move on to just some quick kitchen hacks for people is like this whole conversation. You've already mentioned it, like local versus not local. I guess like just like sourced. Like where is the meat being sourced from? Um, and like Jake had said, he gets his apples and these juices locally. There's even a point where I don't know if they still do, but his family was producing honey. I know they have crops that they
Yep.
produce and stuff, vegetables that they grow themselves, like which is awesome. Like one day in my future, I'm absolutely gonna have animals, livestock. I'm gonna have crops, and I'm gonna be just eating off my own land. I'm gonna control what the cow eats entirely. The whole process. It's gonna be sick, but like if you can go local, go local. Go to these like mom and pop farmers, um, that are producing good stuff and buy from them. Don't buy from these big factories that have because mom and pop they don't really have the big resources to manipulate your food.
Yeah.
Like these big factories do. It's not come down to a science formula for mom and pop down the road. So
Yeah.
something to consider
I
there.
try
But
to, yeah, I stick with the local stuff. Like even the local butcher who I know, has, animals locally. It's not, going to Kroger and buying, meat from their butchery. So it's, things like that. Even farmers markets, like farmers markets are huge in the spring and the summer. those are all local people selling their product.
Yeah, and it's good to support them too. Like, just go out and
Oh, for
support,
sure.
entrepreneurs, local people in your community are trying to like provide quality stuff. Like, that's why we're seeing so much low quality stuff, and just the quality of foods overall diminish is because these factories, they're able to make it at a margin, and we don't need to get into the whole government, like what they're doing and all this with inflation. Like, there's a reason you can only afford the big company stuff at times. So like, it's what it's doing to this local small businesses who are actually trying to produce quality stuff. So like, if you have the money, it's in your budget, like, go support those guys because they're trying to do everything they can to just produce something quality, and more than likely go against those big companies who are trying to just take advantage of your body, with manipulative marketing or whatever that is. So support those guys. But let's roll through. I hope we answered everything food quality wise. Sum it up, like, shop local if you can, look for grass fed, but most importantly, like, don't get manipulated by the labels, flip it over, check ingredients. If you can pronounce it, if it's, one, two, three ingredients, great. If it's more than that and it doesn't make sense to be in there, drop it, move on to something else, and check around. Also, in the name of food quality, Yuka, Yuka. It's an app you can download, you can scan labels and it'll give you a grade. And like, three people started it, they still own it, and it's legit. Like, I've gone in with my knowledge and scanned a ton of stuff, and it's super legit. So YUKA, I think, like a carrot on the front of the app. So if anyone's like, all right, screw all that, I'm just gonna use an app technology to figure out what's healthy, what's not, I recommend that app 100%. Now, is it something where it may get bought up by a big company eventually and get manipulated? Maybe. It's the reality of our world. But
Yep.
go use that, scan your labels, and it'll give you a grade. And if the grade's like 70 or above out of 100, it's green. You're good to go, and it'll tell you why it's bad too. So if you want to really get educated on this stuff, it'll say like it's bad because this high quality or low quality risk, like high risk ingredient in X. So download YUKA, Yuka. Wish we were affiliated, man. That'd be sick. But let's get into
Drop the link.
yeah, kitchen hacks. So, what's the biggest kitchen hack you got for the people?
Biggest, I think a lot of people don't have time. I think
Okay.
time saving meals, like a lot of people eat unhealthy because they feel like they don't have time. So the biggest kitchen hack I can say is make foods in bulk. It saves me time. So for example, we were talking about potatoes earlier. Me and Matt get potatoes every time we go to the store. So at the beginning of every week, I'll cut up a 3 pound bag of potatoes and stick it in the air fryer. And that'll last me throughout the whole week. I'm not, cutting up a new potato each time I want a potato for my meal. I just put it in the air fryer, store it in the fridge. It lasts me a week. All I need to do is take it out of the fridge, put it back in the oven, microwave, air fryer, whatever, for like 5 minutes, and it's good to eat again instead of having to cut it up and cook it brand new. So I know leftovers, it gets this bad connotation around it because it's not as good or as fresh, but it's quick and it's easy. And honestly, I don't notice the difference. Um, Things like crock pot meals. The other day, I put in 5 pounds of chicken in the crock pot, put in some barbecue sauce, and just let that cook all day. And I didn't really have to do anything. I just let it cook for 3-4 hours, and it was ready for dinner. All I did was shred it up. I ate some chicken and then put the rest of it in the fridge to snack on later in the day. So it's not, I don't meal plan or meal prep because I don't, set out these portions, track my macros and my calories. But when I make my food, I just make it in bulk. So I have plenty to last me throughout the week.
Yeah, I was always a guy who said, now living with a woman, I mean, it's way different lifestyle. But for all the bros, like, I was always the guy who said, like, never just cook for one meal. Like, if you're gonna cook at dinner, like, get on some extra protein in that meal and just store it for breakfast tomorrow or something. Like, cook for multiple meals. Grab your, when you're making dinner, throw lunch on for the next day. Like even if it's a completely separate thing, like even if you're cooking steak for dinner and chicken, like it's easy to just be in the kitchen and cook multiple things at once than it is to come back to the kitchen at a different time. So like just never cook for one meal. That's a big thing. I love what you're saying about crock pots. We do that like on nights we know we're gonna be busy, dude, in the
Mm.
morning. Drop a roast in, drop a whole chicken in a crock pot, cut up some veggies, whatnot around it, little gravy, little. We do it all in bone broth. Cook it all in bone broth. So yeah, that's the elite. Air fryer is just an elite tactic as a whole. Just leveraging an air fryer, putting stuff in there is so easy. I think another big one is like you'd already talked about earlier is the yogurt, man. Like I think Greek yogurt is the like superfood. Like if you are healthy, you should be eating Greek yogurt. And the reason I say that is because it's high in protein. It's a probiotic, so it's got great stuff for your gut, and it's so easy, man. Like put it in a bowl, toss some frozen berries on there. I love just frozen blueberries, maybe some dark chocolate chips, drizzle some honey, some maple syrup. You have an elite snack and the best pre workout, and something that's high in protein and really good for your gut. Like, and it, hits that sweet tooth, which I think sweet tooth is just a sugar addiction that these companies have have labeled as a sweet tooth. Um, Good for them. I wish I could market as good as they could, but yes, I think Greek yogurt is such a hack. I'm trying to think of kind of anything else. I know you talked about earlier, just cooking anything at home allows you
Yep.
to control those ingredients. Like anything we make, cookies, dark chocolate chips, 100% organic, pure maple syrup, like sourdough. Like, so what else you got?
I think I mean I'm a big egg eater. I think I mean it takes just a couple minutes to fry up some eggs or
Yeah.
scrambled eggs. I think that's another big way to get protein in. Um, like one egg is only like what, like 6 or 7 grams of protein, but one egg is not very much. You can put like 6 eggs, and that's over 40 grams of protein just right there. So that's another kind of quick, high protein thing that you can cook. I think a lot of guys in Elevate, they're eating eggs every single day.
Yeah.
I'm constantly buying eggs. I have like 4 dozen in the fridge right now, and that'll last me less than 2 weeks. So eat as many eggs as you can, quick, easy. Um, and we're talking about these easy, fast meals. Like a lot of us guys, even if you do have a wife or you live with a woman who cooks for you, like she doesn't want to spend hours and hours in the kitchen either. So
No, she
make
doesn't.
her life easy. So fast, easy meals.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're in Elevate, like go hit the recipe book, download that. We got great stuff for just guys, for relationships, for families, all in there. And it's actually, we got a fresh recipe book, updated version coming out here soon.
Yes, sir.
Jake tossed some good stuff in there, some casseroles, breakfast casserole that we were just talking about before this episode that I'm pumped to try myself. For that reason exactly. Like our mornings are busy. Just because she usually cooks doesn't mean she wants to cook every day. Like, sometimes I got to go out there and jump in and help, or she's just too busy, and I go out there and we just got to eat some yogurt or something. Like
Yep.
she's busy as well. So, yeah, so something like a breakfast casserole that you can make, and then use for breakfast for your whole week is huge. And I think another big hack is like learn how to reheat stuff, man. People don't know how to reheat stuff. That is what's killing your meal preps or your leftovers because you're throwing it in the microwave and just torching it. You're not adding any butter, any oils, like anything to it. Like take a little bit extra time and don't use the microwave. Put it on the stove in the skillet. Reheat it in a way that's going to actually make it taste good. Put it on a pan in the oven. Toss it in the air fryer, maybe, depending on what it is. One thing with rice, like, don't just heat rice up in the microwave and expect it to taste good. I toss some butter in. I toss some salt in when I'm reheating. I always reseason when I'm reheating. And I usually turn to something like a butter or something just to give it some moisture and give it some good flavor too. So it's like, I think one big downfall, especially for dudes, is like it's just like 2 minutes in the microwave or something, and it's just like things come out rubbery and burnt and dry, and it's like no wonder
Yep.
you don't like meal prepping or eating leftovers. Like, come on, like
Yep.
Just take a few seconds to put it on the stove or in the oven, maybe with some butter on it or something, whatever it is. It's going to change the game for you.
For sure. Yeah, I'm the same way. Every time I reheat something, I add butter to it just because, like, I mean, if you're going to cook something twice, likely it's going to be a little overcooked. So adding in some butter just gives it some more flavor and moisture.
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of times when I know I'm not going to eat it right then, I'll undercook it.
I
So
do the
that
same
way,
exact thing.
when I heat it up, it's just right where I want it to be. Like I'll leave a steak a little bit undercooked, leave some beef, got some pink in there, whatever. Like I do that a
Yep.
lot. And then another thing too, like sauces, man. I've been saying this, dude, but Mitch and I, like, we've always been big sauce guys. We are big sauce guys right now. I got like 8 different sauces in my fridge. It's like I'm a huge sauce guy, but it's helped me to flavor my meals, eat different stuff. No, if you're putting sauce on steak, like that's a shame. That's a shame. You need to learn how to cook a steak. But
Yeah.
like just like burgers and stuff, like get some good sauces. And going back to food quality, sauces are not usually high quality, man. Like don't think Hidden Valley Ranch is any good for you. Like the biggest example I always give people in this is ketchup derives from a tomato. Where does ranch come from? Everybody's like, there's no vegetable. It comes from there. It's like barbecue sauce. Where's that come from? Like it comes from high fructose corn syrup is where it comes from. So it's like these have been like just like factory made sauces. Like imagine like we're talking about beef and the ingredients just saying beef. When you go buy a sauce, it's like sauces are just made up stuff most oftentimes. So there are good ranches. I'm not saying ranch is bad. Like you can get a good ranch. It's typically made with an avocado oil base. Same thing with barbecue sauce. You typically have these barbecue sauces that have the avocado oil base with healthy stuff added. Primal Kitchen is a brand that I go to for sauces. Yeah, the sauces are going to be expensive, but you're not getting stuff that's just been made up in a factory to just mess with your body.
Yep.
So go to sauces. I think hot sauce is a great one too. Like hot sauces are usually all high quality, just made from peppers and stuff. I use salsas as well, like pico, and I use a green chili. It's a big thing out here in Colorado and New Mexico. Like it's huge out here. I eat it basically every day on my eggs. It's called the brand I use is 505, and I mean the ingredients are good. It's like chilies, lime juice, and like I don't know, like salt or something. Like that's it. So I put it on my eggs. So good, man. So yeah, I leverage sauces, salsas, but that'll be really big in reheating stuff and eating leftovers. Getting some salsa on there, getting some sauces on there will help you out too. So
Yep. Yeah, I like I mean anytime I'm eating chicken, like if I grill up chicken, I'll switch sauces, like a organic barbecue or some buffalo sauce. Um I buy some ranch. I also make my own ranch sometimes. So I buy these packets. It just has the ranch spices in it. I buy some sour cream and like some Greek yogurt and I just mix it up, make my own ranch.
yeah, we've done that for sure. I think another thing I want to get across too is like learn how to cook, man. Like your parents probably didn't know how to cook. They probably weren't healthy either if they did know how to cook. Like so learn how to cook. Like take the time. Like it's such an art. It's such a good thing too. Like it's a healthy thing. It's cool. It's very like fulfilling. Especially when you're cooking for other people, you're making stuff healthy. Like it's a way to show love. I really enjoy it, man. I think it's a self care type of thing too. When I'm cooking something up that I know is going to fuel me for a workout, like I feel really good about putting healthy stuff in my bowls and smoothies, whatnot. Like so, just like learn how to cook, get a little bit of education, and that's probably why you're listening to this. Like get some education around this stuff so you can start taking care of yourself. You can start taking care of the people you love. Like we have nothing without our health. Like if we were to, you know, get put in a hospital bed today, it's like it doesn't matter the family members you have, the relationships you have, the business you're building. Like you have nothing if you don't have your health to be able to live and enjoy it. So it's like put this as a priority and take just an extra 20 minutes one night to learn how to cook a good chicken dish that you can now know how to cook all the time. Like stop just cooking this bland garbage, man. Like just take some time to learn how to cook.
Yeah, a lot of cooking is just, following recipes, putting what it tells you to put in it. And, just, the timing is kind of, trial, experience yourself. It's, prepare it the way you like it, but a lot of it's just literally following the recipe.
Yeah, like if you
And,
can read, you can cook. It's monkey
yeah,
stuff.
like like Matt said, we got the updated recipe book dropping. So, we got 50 recipes in there. So just it's really easy to follow. Ingredients, just instructions, notes, really easy to follow. Make your own meals.
Sick. Well, I think that's a wrap on grocery list. You know what you're looking for in the grocery, food qualities, just what all that garbage might mean on the labels, and then some kitchen hacks just that we've used to just save a little time, eat a little healthier, level up our meals, make them taste better, just things like that. So, hope you guys got a ton of value out of this. As always, appreciate you guys listening, and be sure to comment, what topic you want us to cover next. We're trying to provide value to you guys. We've been doing this stuff for a very long time. So, we're trying to speak to you, not us, even though we do enjoy, having these conversations. And there are some, I know we keep in episodes like talking like, oh, that's for another episode. That's for another episode. Like we're going to have to do some of these deeper episodes, talking about things in depth, talking about why fats are good. And if you're trying to lose weight, you should eat more fats. Like talking about that
For
stuff.
sure.
So we'll definitely start
Yep.
getting more into the weeds of this stuff, just as we break the ice and record more episodes. But right now, we're just trying to provide foundational, valuable stuff for
For
people to
sure.
get it going. And if you guys started with episode 1, you'll just progress with us as we get deeper. So should be a good ride. If you haven't started with episode 1, go back, listen in to episode 1, and ride with us throughout this whole thing. We're gonna keep getting deeper. We got some good stuff coming. So, anything you want to add, bro?
Nope, you covered it. Like you said, I mean, we've been covering the basics. We started with mobility. We hit, gaining weight, losing weight. Now we're covering nutrition. We did some supplements. So we'll start diving deeper into these things and actually breaking them down.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it sounds like we need to jump back to a training episode. So
I think
we'll
so.
see. But all right, guys, appreciate your comment. What topic you want us to cover next? Peace.
Later, dude.